is only 5 days away, and now in their final campaign push, Northern News Now's Madison Green shares why the candidates for the Minnesota House District 8B believe they're the best fit for office.
DFL freshman Representative Leash Kozlowski and Republican challenger Sean Savala agree the housing crisis is one of their top priorities if elected, but have vastly different opinions on how to address it. Savala believes budgeting at the Capitol is too loosely being spent on projects like the Northern Lights Express and clean energy by 2040.
When people are struggling with housing and people struggling with buying food, I think those are not the last things we should be looking at, but those are things that are extraneous to what we need to do. We need to figure out to stop the fraud, and we need to concentrate our spending just on what the citizens and taxpayers of Minnesota need.
Kozlowski says it doesn't have to be one or the other.
We have a major workforce crisis and shortage, and so we're helping out businesses from across the entire cities on up north and reconnecting that rail line. There's also the investments that we made in the Botnick Bridge, and we're connecting a worldwide economy.
Savala says resources and funds need to be put toward doing the most amount of good for the most amount of people.
And we need to make sure that we're protecting most of all kids, the elderly, the disabled, and then looking at our veterans too and making sure they're covered before we're taking care of anybody else.
But Kozlowski says they have heard from voters who believe the queer community, immigrants, and those fighting for women's rights will face consequences if Kozlowski is not elected.
Things like protecting reproductive justice, gender-affirming care, making sure that all of our neighbors, whether they're hardworking immigrants or members of our queer community.
One thing both can agree on, working across the aisle will be essential, and each believe they are the best candidate to do so. In Duluth, Madison Green, Northern News Now.
Madison, thank you.